and not the chest. This is meant to shift the center of gravity to the lower body, helping with posture. During this meditation, one should be able to sense the cessation of the three worlds, the past, the present, and the future. Instead, one feels all time is here in the body, which is the body of Buddha. The past exists in its memory and the future in its anticipation, and both of these are now, for when the world is inspected directly and clearly, the past and future times are nowhere to be found. While Zazen is a vital theory of Zen, the koan method is equally important. This method stems from the work of Hakuin, a versatile and formidable master. He gave it a systematic organization so that the complete course of Zen study in the Rinzai school is divided into 6 stages. There are, first, 5 groups of koan. Only monks who wish to become masters of Zen must complete all of these stages. In this method, the master becomes the roshi, or teacher, for the pupil. The pupil must be completely obedient to the master, and the master comes to stand for all authority in the world. It is then that the master becomes a living symbol of everything that makes one afraid of being spontaneous, everything that prompts the most painful and awkward self-consciousness. He is an upaya, or a skillful device for challenging the student. The master puts up barriers and obstacles for the student, never showing him Zen because Zen cannot be shown. It must be realized by the individual. The easiest way to describe this process is through the asking of questions, to which the student must answer with pure spontaneity. This is first seen in the example of the 3 questions put forth by Huang Lung. The questions are seemingly simple, such as, where is your place of birth? But the answer to a question like this must be as complicated as, early this morning I ate white rice gruel. Now I'm hungry again. The point of these questions is to show that a conscious or correct answer displays the lack of Zen, while a pure and sometimes nonsensical answer arises without thought as to what is correct or incorrect. Another example of this given by Watts is the question of original face, or one hand. The student is asked to discover what he was before his conception. He is told to return when he has discovered it, and to give some proof of discovery. An equally puzzling question is, what is the sound of one hand clapping? These questions are meant to thrust the student into an endless cycle of trying to imagine things that are unimaginable. It is only when the student is at his wit's end that he begins to be on the right track. He must know that he doesn't know. Watts explains that this is the beginning of the journey to Zen. Spontaneity grows from confusion, and confusion is nurtured by the koan method. However in-depth Watts' explanation of the theories behind Zen are, the way of Zen is best known for bringing these theories into the terminology of the modern Western world. This is best shown through his discussion of the double bind and cybernetics. Watts described the mind as being much like a feedback loop. According to Watts, the mind works like the modern-day idea of cybernetics, which refers to the study of loops derived from methods of communication and control in living organisms, machines, and organizations. Using the analogy of cybernetics, Watts describes that the mind, when approaching self-control, is also approaching self-frustration. This is most easily shown in the statement, I am lying. The statement implies that it is a lie, even though it is meant to be a true statement. In this way, it circulates forever, locked in a self-correcting cycle. Watts concludes that the desire for perfect control of the environment of oneself is based on a profound mistrust of the controller. This theory, like all ideas surrounding Zen, is a difficult one. However, Watts attempts to make this clear by using feedback analogy. The mind is something that is very much like a feedback system or loop. Feedback enables a machine to be informed of the effects of its own action in such a way as to be able to correct its action. He then uses the example of the home thermostat, which is able to correct itself and make the room a certain temperature at all times. All of this is a metaphor for the way the mind is able to correct its own way of thinking. The mind is aware of itself, and this is the main problem for Zen, since awareness of the mind is the enemy of Zen. In this, we are caught in what anthropologist Gregory Bateson referred to as a double bind. The double bind is the way the mind can often be caught in a situation where to do is the same as not to do, and vice versa. Watts described this as the main obstacle to tackle in Zen. The point of Zen is to become one with the original or spontaneous mind. Yet, when the mind seeks naturalness, it is lost, since the action of seeking is inherently premeditated. The central argument of the way of Zen is that the practice of Zen is a way out of this feedback loop. Action, not reflection, is an easier way to Zen. The human mind, when reflecting, is usually reflecting upon itself. On the other hand, action can be done with no mind or with no thought. Reflection almost implies that there is mind and there is thought. Watts describes Zen as the medicine for the ill effects of this conditioning, for the mental paralysis and anxiety which come from excessive self-consciousness. Zen is a way to break the feedback loop, so that the mind can be free from all conception of itself. He concludes that Zen is the discovery that the voluntary and involuntary aspects of the mind are alike spontaneous. This discovery causes the dualism between the mind and the world, the knower and the known, to cease, and from here the mind and the individual become one, and a free unity of spontaneous mind and action prevails. When one is able to realize that through an understanding of just what spontaneous action is, one can begin to break down the barrier between the mind and itself. In Watts's The Way of Zen, he views the mind as a feedback loop, and Zen as the cure to all this, through the spontaneous mind.